here, and I get the opportunity to teach you on our assignment number 5, descriptive statistics, the class data that you just filled out that you see here on the screen. I'm going to show you how to do the box and whisker chart, which is a really cool chart. And basically what it does is over here on the right, when you filled out this middle table, on the final we have the average, the mean, the 75%, the 78% median, the min, the max, and your P25 and your P75, your 25% quartile, your 75th quartile, your min, your max. All of this right here is going to be displayed in the box and whisker chart, but that's what it displays. But how we're going to make it, what we're going to do is go over here into column M, highlight final, shift command or control shift down, highlight that column, under column N under your final percentage, and then go up here to the top left of your sheet and click insert. And what we're going to do is we're going to insert the box and whisker chart. And to do that, go over here to the right in the middle. This is our charts, and we have our recommended charts, and these are the different charts. If you hover over them, you got a column chart, a line chart, a pie chart, hierarchy. What we're going to do is the statistical chart. It looks kind of like this skyline building right here. This is statistical chart, and go ahead and click the drop down, and you see a box and whisker chart. So go ahead and just click on the box and whisker, and it just made our chart right there. And I'm going to move it over here to the side just for a minute, and let me make it a little bit bigger. I'll move it back over here actually. And what I want to show you here is the very top, this one here, this top line, 100%. We see that the max score on the final is 100%. We see the bottom score is down here, but what it did is it took in the average, this one out here, this bottom blue one, this 37%, it's looking at as an outlier, where the true bottom plot area would be 49% in there, but this one here is an outlier that's drawing everything down. You see this faint blue in here, this X that's in here, that X is the final point. That's our 75.9%. That's the mean or the average. This line here in the blue that we have right here, this line, that is the median. This top line right here is your P20, your P75, so your top 75, and then the bottom of the blue right here is your P25. So what we're seeing here in this chart is just a representation. The box and whisker chart is a representation of the mean or average, median, min, max, your first quartile, your P25, your 75th quartile, your P75 in a chart. So it's a pretty good visual representation of what's going on. And now we'll go ahead and we're going to format this chart a little bit more. And what we're going to do first is look, we're going to rename it. So just go ahead and click on the chart title up here and just put your cursor in there, and we're going to just rename this, and we're going to name it box plot. So box plot of midterm and final. And just a little hint, when you're naming, like we've named ranges and we've named other things before, but when you're naming charts and graphs there, be descriptive in the name, so when you look at it, you know what it is. And also when you share the data, I've had this happen to me before where I wasn't very descriptive in naming it, and when I went back and looked at the data sometime in the future on stuff I've done in the past, I have to figure out what I did. So be descriptive in the name so anybody could easily take a look at the chart and understand what's going on. And so, like I said, here in the name, we've named it box plot of midterm and final, yet we only have the final information on here. So I'm going to show you how to, inside this, insert the midterm information. So anywhere inside our chart, go ahead and right click. Okay. And when we right click, go ahead and hit select data. So select data. And what comes up is this select data source, and it's a range, and it's showing us where the information is coming from right now. Our chart data range. We got our legend entries and where it's coming from. So what we're going to do right now is here under legend entry series, we're going to hit this plus button on this chart area. Go ahead and hit the plus, and it brings up series number 2. And so now we're going to insert the information for series number 2. So go ahead and put your cursor under name and click on it. Once you've highlighted that, go here to midterm percentage under column K, because that's what we want the name to be. And just click on it, and you'll see that it brought in that cell equals class data and the cell. And then our Y values, so that's going to be the name on the axes, and our Y values. Go ahead and click in the box there, Y values. And now we can go in and just highlight under midterm percentage there and make sure we grab everything. And so you see that it has equals my class data, which means down here at the bottom, this is the sheet that you're doing, because you could have brought in information from another sheet. So that first name is the sheet that is coming from, and then where it's coming from is coming from K12 all the way down to K31, which you can't see right there. And go ahead and click OK, and you see that we now have the two, the midterm and the final, next to each other. What we want to do now is format this a little bit to make it easier to read and understand. And so go ahead and anywhere in here, as long as we're clicked. So if I click out, up here on my bar, you'll see it says home, insert, draw, page layout, formulas, like we normally have. Now, if I click inside, anywhere inside my chart, if I click in there, you see that it comes up with chart design and format. And these are things that allow me to just work when I'm within the chart. So you'll see I have this new green up here, chart design and format, that's in there. So we want to go ahead and click chart design. And over here to the left is add chart element. And you'll be doing this quite often from here on out in the course on working with Excel. Because about everything we do now, we're going to start adding charts and elements to this. So on add chart element, go ahead and click the drop down. What we're going to do is add axes titles. So we're going to look at the primary vertical title. So we have the horizontal down below, primary vertical. And if we click on this, we get this little axes title over here on the left. And I don't necessarily like how Excel does this, because sometimes it's very hard to do. So I'm just going to increase the size of this. I'll decrease it later so we can easily see. So click on axes title. If you put your cursor in there and go backwards, deleting, it's going up and down, and sometimes it's hard to see, and I don't like that. That's how Excel does it. It would be nice to be able to do this on the function bar, but right now you can't. And what we're going to name this is scores. And then I'm going to delete out the rest of the title right there. So these are the scores. Just going to name that scores, but I'm going to also increase the font size. So I can click out of here and click on there. I go to my home button, and I'm going to increase the font size just so it's easier to read and make it bold. And so just think about, and I'm going to do that there. I'll increase it to the same size, 16 and 16. I'll go ahead and bold that. And just think about aesthetically on how to make it easier to understand and read in there. The other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and click back in my chart anywhere in my chart, go back to chart design, hit add element, and now I'm going to do a legend, and I want my legend to be at the bottom. And you see that it now shows me this is my final percent is in blue, and my orange is the midterm, but I have this 1 down there. Go ahead and click on the 1 and just hit delete. Just delete that out of there. And on this midterm and final, I can go to the home and I can make this a little bit bigger on the legend so it's easier to read. I don't know if I need to do it at 16-point font where I have my titles and stuff, but I'll make it just to where it's a little bit easier to read. And that's completed on your first box plot. The other thing we can do is, while we have this highlighted, I'll do one more thing. We'll go here in the format, and you have your shape, fill, and all of this. This is your borders, and I'm going to just do the black on the border. And how I did that is I clicked, and now I have this black, border around here. How I did that is I just clicked anywhere inside my chart. I went to the format here at the top, and then next to shape fill is your border, and I chose just black, and you can change different borders later on, but we'll just do a black border around there. And now I'm going to go ahead and reduce the size, which is what I want you to do, and I'm going to set this over here to the right. And there we go. We've just done the box plot of the midterm and final. And then I will make another video, a short video on doing the next graph. It'll be separate from this one, just because if we have students that want to know the box plot versus the bar chart. So now go ahead and save this and complete it. Watch the next video and learn how to do the bar chart. And we've done the box plot. And save it and then move on. And then when you're done, go ahead and upload it. Thank you very much.